So now what we're going to do is we're moving on to the next part of this. I said we were going to expand on the knowledge that you knew. So the rational numbers, right? That's what we just talked about. Those are things that you know you have dealt with. So rational numbers are numbers that can be written as fractions or certain decimals. Okay? So all rational numbers can be written as fractions. Okay? Remember how every time you multiplied a whole number that was times a fraction, you put that line underneath it, made that whole number a fraction, put the 1 underneath. So that's why we're saying any of them can be written as a fraction, even if they don't originally look like it. All right? Rational numbers include terminating, so stopping, or repeating decimals. Terminating or repeating decimals, whole numbers, and perfect squares. So perfect squares, if you remember, would be something like, we just talked about the square root of 16, the square root of 9, okay? Those type of things. That's what that one's talking about. All right? Irrational numbers, on the flip side, cannot be written as fractions, cannot be written as fractions. They include non-terminating, and again, that's just a fancy word for stopping. Non-terminating and non-repeating. So while it goes on and on forever and ever and ever, it doesn't repeat anywhere. Okay? And then these are going to be all your non-perfect squares. So if your perfect squares are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, it's literally any number that isn't one of those. So 3, 5, 7, 12, those are non-perfect squares. All right? So we are going to look at a few examples, and then I'm going to have you do a few examples. So looking at our definitions, pi, if you put that in a calculator, you would get something like, actually you would get this, 3.1415 dot, 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 dot. When we use pi typically in math, we round it, but the number actually goes on and on forever and ever and ever without repeating. So it is irrational because it is non-terminating and just as important, non-repeating. It is a non-terminating and non-repeating decimal. All right. The next one, the square root of 100. So if you put in your calculator the square root of 100, what do you get? 10. If I add 1 to that, that would be 11. That is rational because it is a whole number, really. Your final answer is a whole number. Okay, I'm going to give you a second to look at those, and then we're going to come back and do the next few examples.